There we go. We are live now at Abnormal Alabama. And there's, look, we already got Carl Green in the room. Here he is. Hello there.
Hello, Carl Green.
We are going live a few minutes early here. So people can go ahead and join.
Everybody get ready
And I'm going to go ahead and share as people are joining here at Abnormal Alabama. Let's see. Do I have? I see a Kelsey Graham coming up there.
Best thing you've seen all day.
Looks like he's got a cleric's collar on. What is that? What is it? What? Look at that.
All right. We got feedback here.
Oh, it sounds like you got a demon.
You sound like a demon, Kelsey.
I'm coming to get your soul.
All right, for Carl. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Carl. Happy birthday to you. Listen to Kelsey.
I'm trying to correct this.
He's trying to correct it, but it's hilarious. Kelsey said he's not dead yet. I'm surprised you're not dead yet, Carl, with our singing.
People are probably wondering.
Is that better?
No.
Still here.
You still sound like a demon.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Hello, Shasta.
Yeah, Shasta says happy birthday, Carl.
Check 1, 2, 3.
And he says, I'm not dead yet.
Check 1, 2, 3. Can't wait to get there better.
That's better.
It's hard to tell because he's in the background too. So yeah, it sounds like you're better. I don't hear the demon anymore. He's in the background on Catherine's side there, in case y'all are wondering. Thanks to all for the wishes, says Carl Green.
What in the world? I'll get myself out of the picture here.
Yeah, you can have the picture.
Which I probably look better. Okay, I hear myself. I can't handle that.
Okay. How about we just unplug the microphones and do it like that?
I'm trying to do that. Hold on, I got an idea. Let me see.
He's got an idea. He's in a stadium.
Okay, when you're not talking, mute your mic. There's a button you click on the screen.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
Did you mute your mic? Mute your mic. Mute your mic.
There you
go. So when you're not talking, mute your mic, and I won't have that problem.
Yeah, there we go.
And I'll do the same thing. Just unmute it when you want to talk.
Sounds good.
Your mic is mute. Didn't hear it. Go ahead.
Sounds good.
There you go. Now we're going to have to do that to make it sound good. All right. Shasta Miller, hello. Carl Green, happy birthday. He turned 49 today. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's how many beer. Mute your mic when you're not using it.
This is going to be a fun night.
I was trying. That's the call.
Yeah. Carl had a beer for every year he's been alive last night.
A beer for every year he's been alive. So he's stone cold drunk right now. Is that?
For the next few weeks.
All right, welcome everybody to another week of Abnormal Alabama, My Haunted Dolls. Kevin Kane, Catherine Marie, the doctor is in, and we're going to have a good show tonight. And Shasta's birthday is on March the 26th. You'll be 32. Little child, my God. When are you going to grow up, Shasta? Jeez.
She'll look 32.
That's my dad's birthday, too.
Oh, look at her. She looks 19.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you got a spirit box session tonight?
Yeah, I do, with a little Patty Pie here. Oh, you know what? Let me put her favorite toy out here, too, that she lit up so elegantly last time. All right, the kitty cat ball, which the battery's starting to go a little dead there.
All
I'm
right.
gonna
Well,
put
that'd be
that
wonderful.
down.
It goes dead and lights up. Then we know it's haunted.
Yeah, haunted cat ball.
So, according to what you see on your screen somewhere, I believe you'll note that we're going to talk about what? Nightmares?
Yeah, nightmares.
How many of you? Hey, Carl, you ever had a nightmare? Yeah. Kevin would say that I am a nightmare. Well, I'm not going to talk about my personal business here, but I've had a hell of a ride the last couple of days, but I decided to go ahead and get on here this is my church night. So, can we say jalapeno?
Jalapeno.
Yeah, I don't say hallelujah, I say jalapeno.
Jalapeno on a stick.
Did God, didn't God give us jalapenos?
Well, some of us, I think he did. Well, it depends on what your definition of jalapenos are.
The peppers you eat.
The peppers you eat.
You don't know what a jalapeno is?
I forgot. My mind went into the abnormal Alabama gutter over there.
Yeah, well,
tell them what you're meaning.
Yeah, but keep in mind, Kevin was born in Alabama and never left the state. Okay. All right, I'm going to mute myself. Anytime here.
Thank you, Shasta. I will definitely tell him. Thank you.
All right.
And all right, Kevin, it's all yours. I'm going to disappear.
It's all mine. He's going to disappear. There. He disappeared. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do this spirit box. Oh, they both disappeared. And let me go ahead and share this right quick before I start so nobody get ticked off. On my side over there. Because if I start the spirit box and the My Haunted Doll people aren't on there, they'll get upset maybe. There we go. At least do that. All righty, and we're going to bring on, as I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and tell you the doll I'm bringing on tonight is my numero uno doll. When I say numero uno, I'm talking the very first haunted doll I ever adopted. And her name is Patty, the haunted doll. In fact, my Facebook page for My Haunted Dolls is named after Patty, the haunted doll. So, it started out as a page for her because I was trying to see, if anybody who had maybe previously owned her might come aboard there and tell their stories, but it just turned into my whole haunted doll page. So that's a good thing. And Patty, this is one of those dolls where the spirit actually owned the doll in life. And Patty, I am ready for this camera now. Say hello, Patty. This monkey she is holding, I bought that for her a long time ago. She calls him Boo. In fact, she told me on the spirit box his name is Boo. And sorry, my arm's in the way. I want to go ahead and bring back the full screen there. And Patty was 7 years old when she passed away back in the late 80s. This was her only toy because she was the daughter of a prostitute who really didn't care about children or having children. Patty was accidentally born into the world, and she died one evening when she was left on her own by herself. In the apartment she lived in with her mama. She found what she thought was a bag of candy, and it turned out to be a bag of pills her mama had taken as payment for services rendered from a client. So Patty died in the middle of the night and was found by the neighbor the next morning who came to check on her. In fact, from what I understand, it was the neighbor who gave her this doll as a present because the neighbor felt sorry for her. So a friend of mine, a coworker, bought this at a estate sale after, I guess, a family member who had the doll passed away. And the story was given to her. She didn't believe it until she got it home, and creepy things started happening. And then she told me about it. And of course, I thought before pre-Patty, I like to call it, I thought a haunted doll was like Chucky or Annabelle. But nay, no. Haunted objects, a lot of them can be just haunted by a pleasant spirit who enjoys being around it for some odd reason. In this case, or not so odd. In this case, Patty really loved her doll and wanted to, I guess, stay around it in the afterlife. I hear music. I guess Kelsey or Catherine started the music up in the background. So here we go. I'm going to use the S box because Patty has come through the clearest on the static. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to crank it up here so I can lay it down next to her. Now. All right, Patty, my little baby girl. I don't need to introduce myself to you, do I? Let's do like we've done before. I'm going to put this box close to your doll so when you talk, I can hear you, okay? And I got the toy ball here. When you tap it, it lights up. And I know you lit that up for me one night. In fact, it was live on my YouTube channel. I better hold this up here so y'all can hear it. Patty, are you here? Oh, I heard a voice say, uh-huh. Hey, Patty, say hello to everybody. One of our viewers, Nina Noxious, says, "You're so hi, Patty. You are so beautiful." And you are very beautiful, Patty. I've seen you before, haven't I? I mean, the real Patty. I saw you in the mirror one time, didn't I? You remember that day in our old house? I was doing laundry and I walked through the bathroom where that big wide mirror is or was. And I saw you right behind me, just a brief glimpse. Was that you coming to help with the laundry? Are you here, Patty?
License already.
You still here with me? Oh, I think I hear you. Oh, I can't hear you, Catherine.
I hear something moaning and whining, like a kid whining.
Some music has come through. That might be what it was. I haven't heard it as far as moaning or whining.
To me it sounds like whining on there. I'm trying to figure out how to turn these volume up on these headphones
Oh, okay.
too, so that I can hear a little better.
I think I just heard Patty. Was that you, Patty? I thought I heard a little girl say, "It's me." Were you making noises, Patty? Now that was somebody singing just now through the. Patty, will you please light up that ball laying next to your doll? I know you. I know you like it. Tell everybody the name of your dog. Your little monkey there. How do you tell everybody the name of your little monkey? Are you being shy, Patty? Are you upset about anything? Let me switch hands with this camera because my wrist is throbbing. There we go. That's better. It's supposed to be right-handed. I was holding it with my left hand. Patty, tell us where you used to live. How old are you now, Patty?
11. Is that what I said? 11?
I didn't hear 11. That might have sounded like it, though. I don't know. I know Patty was, I believe, 6 when she died, or 7. She was 7 when she died. Is that right, Patty? Were you 7?
And how long have you had her?
I've had her almost 10 years. 9 years this May. Was that you talking, Patty? Oh, I heard a little voice as I was answering. Can't believe it's been 9 years almost. And we were just living in that little townhome, just you and me. And you remember when I don't know if you remember when I got you, all of a sudden animals started showing up around my house, like live fun animals. You remember the frog that stuck itself on my window looking in? Was it you? Yeah. That was you, Patty. And then the little deer, the little fawn that came up on the patio looking in. That never happened before. You remember seeing that little deer? And then a couple of kitty cats kept wanting to hang around. Do you like frogs, Patty? Is that why that frog came and stuck himself on our window looking in?
It's funny.
And that had never happened before. I was living in a townhome behind Home Depot on 280. There's no frogs. Really not many deer, and they certainly don't come up to patios. But I think they sensed that new little spirit Patty in my house. What do you think, Patty?
I feel like I have.
Patty, did you want to talk to everybody?
Now we see fair.
You got the sweetest little face, don't you? Is this doll your favorite toy?
This is liquid.
As the security.
Do you still like your monkey that Daddy gave you?
Our balloons go.
Still waiting on you to tell everybody the name of your monkey. I know.
Kevin.
Hey.
What? What?
No, it's not Kevin. I know I already said it, Patty, but we want to hear you say it. What is his name? That monkey there.
Kevin. What's the matter, Kevin?
Little mouth. That is so cute.
Oh, thank you. You're cute too, Kevin.
Yeah.
Don't be playing with a monkey.
Look, Patty, we got invaded by a silly little bald man on the screen. Look at that. Yeah, looks like Nina had a question there.
So what draws you to the spirits you owned when you first acquired them?
When I used to, and I don't collect near as much as I used to, but used to, if somebody sent me a picture of one they had and needed a rehome, if I looked at it and felt that pull, like, I felt it saying, I want to come live with you, just like a pull. And see, I could, click off of the computer and go about my business and still feel that pull to go back and say, okay, yeah. And that's how I would do it. If they pulled it, if I just felt them pull at me, like I couldn't stop thinking about them. Yeah. But, I mean, with Patty, it was just a take a chance thing. When I.
Oh, I'm so glad you did.
When my friend told me about her, and I figured out, well, she's not scary after all.
Oh, yes, I am.
And you're not scary, are you, Patty?
Oh, scary. Oh.
Her little feet dangling out back there.
Don't tickle him.
When I got Patty, it was mainly, I thought, well, it'll make a neat conversation piece, but I wasn't sure I believed it. But
we talk all the time.
then she started pulling on my shirt tail in the kitchen when I was by myself, and she giggled and
I'm
her little.
Patty hungry. Patty hungry. Leave me. Oh. You know you love me.
Patty, is there anything you want to tell everybody? We got a lot of people watching right now. Looks like. I know they love to watch you. So if you want to say hello.
Never even you.
They know that's old Kelsey talking over there, not Patty.
Oh, not here.
Patty,
Where's your REM pod?
It's over here. I was afraid she might be scared of a little
Playful Rain has arrived on the scene. Better late than never.
The little kid spirits don't like my skull REM pod, it seems like. The adults do.
I like you.
Hi, Playful Rain.
And hello to Playful Rain from Patty Doll. Patty Doll. Patty's like, what is that he's shoving in my face?
We love you.
You know, you still hadn't played with your cat ball.
Oh,
She lit that thing up good during the live that time. What was that? That was before Christmas.
The last two words.
I'm going to leave it there in case you want to play with it while we're over here jabbering about scary dreams. I think old Doc Kelsey scared Patty away.
Believe it.
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
I heard that.
It said believe it. Is that what it said?
I heard that.
Believe
Nina
it.
says, would having recurring dreams of a specific one work the same way? I keep having dreams of spirit that I think wants me to adopt it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All I can say, Nina, is be careful. You might get a red-headed stepchild out of it.
I say, yeah.
Sure, that happens with Kevin all the time. He'll walk along and a certain dog will call. I've been with him when that's happened in Georgia.
Yeah.
Remember that dog?
Yeah, the one Sheree let me.
And you
let me
said,
have.
oh, she's calling out to me. And I heard her say, Kevin, take me home.
Oh, remember we kept hearing music in that room.
Please take me home.
Well, Patty, we're about to turn the box off. Anything you want to say before we turn it off?
Good night.
I heard something. Was that you? Regroup. That wasn't Patty. That was some dude saying regroup. Oh. Do you still come in and watch TV with Daddy? What's your favorite show?
I have no idea about
Sound like a Jamaican spirit came through. Well, all right, it's getting close to 7:30, so I was going to share a clip for everybody to look at and talk about, and then we'll talk about nightmares. And Patty, I appreciate you being here. You get to stay right here with me. If there's any spirits here that don't belong who came through, please be sure to go back to where you belong. And all spirits need to back away while I count down to 5 so I can turn off the spirit box. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Goodbye. There we go. Thank you, little Patty. And we'll leave that ball on too. Maybe you'll light it up during the show sometime for us. All righty. Let me put this thing back up here. Hope that doesn't make you all dizzy there, swinging you around. Looks like Kelsey and Catherine have stepped away suddenly, so I'm going to share this clip here. I have a clip on that I found on, I didn't find it. It was sent to me on Facebook
A clip
earlier
of what?
today, and
A clip of what?
it's a clip of what? That's right.
Clip of what? Clip of what?
It's I don't know. I personally think it might be. Well, let me play it. Let people see here what they think. I got to share it here.
Hey, close attention.
Let me.
I got another lady picking up the other bag of pads.
I'm sorry?
I got a lady picking up another bag of pads and some diapers. Those diapers tomorrow.
Okay. Let me. Some people have had a discussion about this on here. Okay, let me share my screen.
Oh, that's a good
got it
video.
here.
That's a real good video. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Hey there.
Oh, come on now. I need the.
Oh, I know
full
what that
screen.
is. I know exactly what that is.
What exactly is
It's
that?
a ball of light going across railroad tracks.
I wondered if it was ball lightning. People have chimed in on it's been going around Facebook. It's probably on TikTok, I'm sure. And people
So what
have
do you guys
chimed
think?
in.
Nina, Playful Rain, what do you guys think? Shasta, you still there? What do you guys think that ball is right there? Can you blow it up in a full screen?
Well, I got it at full screen
Oh,
now.
okay. Okay, guys, what do y'all think?
Oh, did y'all see the sparks just then?
Yes, I did. Looked almost like lightning.
Look at the let's
yeah,
see.
but go back at the last track, back further.
Okay.
There's some more. You missed right there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, my spirit ball just went off. Dadgummit. Hey, Patty.
And I missed it.
See, look at that. So a couple people commented that if an electric train comes through there, it causes electrical phenomenon.
No, I've watched all kind of railroad. There's no electric train on the railroad tracks. Not there, no.
Or electric rails or something or other.
No, it ain't true. That is BS.
So I thought maybe some kind of ball lightning, but then what's causing that spark up there?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I have seen that video before. And look at it go off in the woods.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with that. Did you see that?
It came out of one side of the woods and went in the other side of the woods there.
You know what? It's a glowing Bigfoot.
There's the sparks up there. There was a little spark on the track, and sparks up above there.
And it goes right off in the woods.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, here's the concern I've got. I don't know if it's even real. That could be fake.
Well, it's reflecting.
No, that don't matter. You can make it do that. But I want you. The reason I say that very simply is that it don't show it going off in the woods. When it gets to tree line, they cut it off.
Yeah.
It starts before it gets out of the tree line on the other side. Watch.
Oh, let me restart it again.
Yeah. So it does not show in the woods at all. It only shows out in the open. Now, watch it go across there. It's in front of everything. It's not hard to make that shadow, where it's tracking. That's not hard to do.
Well, some people, I think, when they originally posted, were trying to say maybe it's alien because of
Nah,
the sparks
I,
flying
I,
out.
I
But
would. My first impression is somebody did some CGI
well, mine was
stuff.
ball
Yeah,
lightning, but I don't know that
yeah,
ball
no,
lightning just goes straight
no,
like that. It usually darts
no,
around.
yeah, no, I don't believe it.
So you think it's fake?
I think it's fake. I think it's too
Well,
too. Is there? There's no sound to it.
there is, but it's it's playing Earth Angel. Let me turn it on so we
Oh
got
well,
it
no,
loud.
okay, that don't do any good. So okay, but that's another indication it's fake. If I
Uh,
no, really, that's another indication
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fake.
yeah.
It's not ball
Okay,
lightning.
well,
It's a fake.
hey,
It's CGI.
it was interesting to watch. There we
That's
go. I'll go ahead and
fine,
take
but
it
we debunked it. That's fine. That's what we do. Yeah,
That's
but
what we do. We
I'm
accuse
saying that.
everything of being fake.
No, wait a minute. If I first of all, if I'm filming that thing, I can understand that you catch it after it's out of the wood line, but you stop filming right before it disappears into the on the other side.
Yeah,
That's a red flag. The next red flag is that he covers it with music. If I caught that, I'd want the original soundtrack.
yeah,
If it were real, there'd have to be some kind of sizzling sound or something.
and why am I only seeing this on Facebook? I
Yeah,
couldn't
there
find
you
it
go.
on
Oh,
YouTube. I haven't checked TikTok, but I didn't see a
well, let
TikTok
me tell you what.
thing on there.
If it were anything close to legitimate, it'd at least be on coast to coast.
It would be on what they call it AP out there online.
Yeah, so
They put videos out there that
I'm suggesting, I can't prove it. I don't have the video, but I'm suggesting it's fake.
yes,
See,
just
you can do that. I can do that with my software.
that
So
darn
in
that
fact,
darn it. I say it's as real as this skull right here. Come on
and
now.
that skull is not real.
Come on.
So, well, let's see. Got everything shut down. We're going to talk about nightmares, strange
Uh-huh.
dreams. Anybody have strange dreams or nightmares that they
Yes.
just can't shake from? Do you ever
Nightmares
wait?
at
Oh, look at
night.
that little girl. Look at the hands reaching
Oh,
out toward her.
oh, nightmares.
So, in your stories, and I haven't had a
That
chance
one.
to even research this subject, but have you got any sleep,
Sleep paralysis.
yeah, paralysis?
You know what? I haven't had to read all of because yesterday I went with my dad to have a colonoscopy procedure. So we were over in the hospital, and I did a quick research while I was waiting,
Yeah.
and but he came through that okay. But a lot of running him around places, so I didn't really get to. And then today I was backed up, catching up from missing yesterday
Yeah.
at work, so I didn't get to read these, but I've got them up here.
All
I
right.
found so I don't know if I know I skimmed through some of them yesterday in the hospital
Well,
waiting room,
we'll just take them one at a time.
and but I
What about Miss Catherine? Did she get any stories for us?
she disappeared. She's on mute. Here, let's get her on here. There we go. Oh,
I do have a few stories of my own personal nightmares.
ooh. Did you want to go ahead and tell us?
Yeah, you go ahead and do your story, and I'll come back and
Oh,
do mine. How about that?
okay. All righty. Well, here I'll tell the first story here of people describing nightmares. Nightmares affect everybody and can stem from different aspects of a person's life or personality. Sleep paralysis, medications, scary movies, and many other things can trigger horrifying nightmares like that. Or how about this hovering lady? Ooh. Ah. And nothing sticks with you quite like the horror of a terrifying dream. And some of these stories here I'm going to share, which range from being shot at or stabbed or drowning in blood, witnessing the deaths of loved ones. I've had that kind of bad dream before. And even being chased by unholy creatures. Users actually dreamed of these terrifying scenarios. Some are even afraid these dreams could be prophetic, adding a whole new horrifying layer. Hopefully, these scary stories of dreams during the daytime because who knows? Or wait, that's hopefully we hear these stories, which we're not during the daytime, because who knows what they'll do to us at night. Well, it's nighttime where I am, so whoops. But this first story, The Creature in the Basement. When I was 8, I had a recurring dream over a period of months. I once was awake 72 hours because I was too afraid to sleep. The dream was I'm in our basement with my sisters getting something to drink. Suddenly, my sisters' faces, oh, these ads. There we go. These ads. Now I've lost my place. Jeez Louise. All right, here we go. Suddenly, my sisters' faces start to get weird. Their mouths and noses get really small, and pretty much 90% of the face is their eyes. I start to run upstairs, but a creature grabs my neck and pulls me up. The face was like a normal one, but it had another skin above it. It started to scream like a demon, and I just can't do anything else but scream back. My mother said in the first night I screamed, 3 hours before I woke up. For 3 hours before I woke up, I screamed. That's what she's saying. I hate our basement. Well, I guess you did. And that makes me know. So, what she's dreaming about there is not only is there a creature, but her sister's transformed into something creepy. It sounds like there. And I've had that kind of dream too, where when I was a kid, I was with my mom and she turned into a nightmare woman. But I had a recurring dream. I'll tell this so everybody can laugh. I'll be okay if one more ad pops up on that side. Okay. So, my dream when I was little, and this was a recurring nightmare that took place around the time I was about 4 and 5 years old. It went on for months. Now, it wasn't every single night, but it was coming at least 2 or 3 times a month. I would dream about this really wicked looking witch type woman that looked like she was old and wrinkled and had some kind of black mole up here around her nose. And now she wasn't your standard movie witch like on TV. She was very pale and ghostly looking, and she had this scraggly black hair that hung down and these long black nails that curled out on every finger and her thumb. And she would come out of my closet and she'd and come rush over to the bed and just start tickling me with you think, oh, she's going to claw you up. No, she would just goose me with those nails, which for me was even worse because I wasn't laughing. I was screaming. It wasn't a funny tickle. It was a scary nightmare tickle that made me scream. And then she would drag me by the legs out of the bed and into the closet where she came from, into that dark closet, screaming. And she would, and because I was so little, 4 years old, because she made that hee sound, I called her hee hee. So I tell my mother, my parents next day, I dreamed about hee. And boy, she was ugly. And then it got to where sometimes I would dream about being out somewhere with my mother in a store, and suddenly I look around and my mother would transform into hee, and just everywhere we'd go. And it got so bad that during my waking hours, I would think she was around in real life. So I was scared. Uh, we would go. We had my godmother and my godfather, and my parents were very close friends, and we'd go spend time with them almost every Friday night. The adults would play cards, and I and my siblings would play with their kids, and we'd just have a blast. But it was always Friday night, so it would get dark, and then they had this long hallway you had to go down to get to their bathroom, and they always left the lights off down there. And I was always scared if I went down that hallway that he would come charging out of the room, cackling. So, but that went on for a long time, and finally, it sort of slowed down. I saw it less and less frequently. I want to say the last dream I had of her, she didn't cackle, she didn't hee at all. She just looked like she was ticked off about something. And then that was it. I guess she got tired of haunting my nightmares. Or maybe I just outgrew it. I really don't know. Kids have, imaginations like that. I think just about most kids, if not all, have nightmarish images of what's hiding under the bed or in the closet at nighttime. It's just how we are. And looks like Catherine and Kelsey ran away from me again, so I'll go ahead and share another story here. Let me throw up a creepy picture here. Ah, look at that. All right. My very first nightmare I can remember was when I was 5. I had a friend named Gracie, and in my dream, we were at her house drawing with chalk on her deck. She lived on a cliff, and beneath it, instead of water, it was kind of like the Badlands in Lion King, just thickets of thorns stretched out as far as I could see. Well, Gracie's mom came out and started yelling at us for drawing on the deck. But the weird thing was, this lady was not Gracie's mom. She was something evil, and I could tell. It was like she was transforming into something dark and ugly in front of my eyes. But Gracie could not see it. Long story short, she finds out that I know she is evil and throws both of us off the cliff. I hit the bottom and open my eyes and see Gracie with thorns sticking to her. Then the dream just ends. Fast forward to second grade, I go into school one day and Gracie is not there. My teacher told the class that she had drowned while riding her tricycle beside the pool at her house. Gracie's parents filled in the pool, filed for divorce, and move. Fast forward 8 years, my younger brother has been born now. My church builds a walk trail through her backyard. My brother is 7 and I'm 14, and we are walking, and out of nowhere, he points to her house and says, Gracie says hello. I said, What are you talking about, Cam? And he says, The wet girl. I have never told him about Gracie, so how did he know about the wet girl? So that's one of those instances where the dream comes into reality.
Was that a wet T-shirt girl or what?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It was a little girl who drowned.
Well, she would have had a wet T-shirt for sure. I would think, wouldn't you?
Well, I guess so. She was wearing a T-shirt.
There you go.
Now, where has Catherine disappeared to?
She's gone to the outer darkness.
Oh, okay. Well, shall I tell her, or should I talk about nightmares some more? Or did you want to share?
I had no time to prepare whatsoever.
Well, I didn't.
I just thought I'd jump in and.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had your own nightmare, but.
Yeah, yeah, I think you know. I think you can
answer. I guess I should just share what exactly is a nightmare. A nightmare is a disturbing dream associated with negative feelings such as anxiety or fear that awakens you. Nightmares are common in children but can happen at any age. Occasional nightmares usually are nothing to worry about. Nightmares may begin in children between 3 and 6 years old. Hey, that's when I start having the hee dreams. And tend to decrease after the age of 10. Well, mine decreased before that. During the teen and young adult years, girls appear to have nightmares more often than boys do. Some people have them as adults or throughout their lives. Although nightmares are common, nightmare disorder is relatively rare. Nightmare disorder is when nightmares happen often, cause distress, disrupt sleep, cause problems with daytime functioning, or create fear of going to sleep. You're more likely to have a nightmare in the second half of your night. Nightmares may occur rarely or more frequently, even several times a night. Episodes are generally brief, but they cause you to awaken, and returning to sleep can be difficult. A nightmare may involve these features. Number one, your dream seems vivid and real and is very upsetting, often becoming more disturbing as the dream unfolds. Two, your dream storyline is usually related to threats to safety or survival, but it can have other disturbing themes. Three, your dream awakens you. Four, you feel scared, anxious, angry, sad, or disgusted as a result of your dream. Five, you feel sweaty or have a pounding heartbeat while in bed. Six, you can think clearly upon awakening and can recall details of your dream. Seven, your dream causes distress that keeps you from falling back to sleep easily. Nightmares are only considered a disorder if you experience these following. Number one, frequent occurrences. Number two, major distress or impairment during the day, such as anxiety or persistent fear or bedtime anxiety about having another nightmare. Three, problems with concentration or memory, or you can't stop thinking about images from your dreams. Four, daytime sleepiness, fatigue, or low energy. Five, problems functioning at work or school and social situations. And six, behavior problems related to bedtime or fear of the dark. Having a child with nightmare disorder can cause significant sleep disturbance and distress for parents or caregivers. Occasional nightmares aren't usually a cause for concern. If your child has nightmares, you can simply mention them at a routine well child exam. However, consult your doctor if nightmares occur frequently and persist over time, routinely disrupt sleep, cause fear of going to sleep, or cause daytime behavior problems or difficulty functioning. All right. And here's something that are risk factors. Right, nightmares are more common when family members have a history of nightmares or other sleep parasomnias, such as talking during sleep. And what's even worse, I'm just throwing this out my own thought on it, it is if you're having a nightmare while you're sleepwalking. I can imagine what that can cause. Now, is Lady Catherine ready to tell her story? I see she's back now.
I am back.
Okay.
As a kid, I had terrible nightmares. It was kind of rough. One of my most vivid nightmares as a child was we lived in Chelsea, Alabama at the time, over on Highway 11, and it was a mobile home, a single wide mobile home, and I had horrible nightmares in that house. I would dream that house, you know how a mobile home sits, like that, right? Well, I dreamt that it constantly would teeter totter. And you talk about being a kid and being a little kid, that was a horrible nightmare to have continuously. It wasn't just, a one time dream, it was a continuous dream. And then I have another dream as an adult, and it's a dream about a house. And for some reason, I always start out in the basement. And as I'm going up the stairs and into the main part of the house, the stairs are broken to the third level or the second level, depending on how you look at it. And there's always like a spirit up there. And the spirit's very, very mean. It's not a very nice spirit. And it keeps, every time I try to get up there to get rid of the spirit, it keeps pushing me back down and keeps me from climbing the stairs that are halfway missing to get there. And it's an old woman, and I don't know exactly who the old woman is. Haven't figured out. This is a constant reoccurring dream for me, and that's basically my bad dreams. Two of my bad, horrible dreams.
Wow. I've had I haven't had any recurring nightmares anymore since that one instant in my lifetime between ages 4 and 6 that I talked about earlier. But I've had, as an adult, I've had the occasional nightmare. Mine's always there's some intruder or there's some stalker. It's always me and more people. I'm not usually by myself. It's more people scattered and running, and it's bizarre.
Now,
And then,
I can tell you a story about I had a wisdom tooth pulled, and they put me to sleep for it, and I woke up from the sleep, and during the sleep, I was dreaming that I was a gigantic tooth, and the doctor was a stick person, and the nurse was a stick person, and the nurse was running around with a big, those the old timey shots they had that had the where you stuck the two fingers in, and then they
um,
like that. Well, I dreamt that she had one of those, and she was chasing after me, trying to give me the shot, and then the doctor, the dentist, had hemostats. But when I woke up from this dream, I was not completely coherent, and I called it roach clips and embarrassed the heck out of my mom. I couldn't think of the word hemostat. And it's like, I was like, those things. And I go, the roach clips.
I don't know. I guess getting chased by stick people is kind of.
I mean, she knew it. She had she had nurse, and she was a stick person, and she had a little dress on, and she had the little old timey nurse hat on. I mean, it was like a kid drawing, and I was just a giant tooth.
Ooh.
Just,
You were a giant tooth.
I was a giant tooth, and I was being chased around by them. Um, that was an interesting dream.
I've had dreams where I wasn't me. I was just somebody else
I
involved, and
have dreams often that I'm small, like I'm teeny tiny. I don't know.
I
Some,
used to laugh about other people talking about for years. I was like, I always hear about the worst. I hate when I have those dreams where I show up at high school completely naked, or I show up at high school in my underwear. And I'd laugh and I'd say, I've never had that. And then all of a sudden, the past couple of freaking years, I've had dreams where I showed up in class. I'm a kid again or a teenager again. I show up in class. Sometimes it's middle school, sometimes it's high school. One time it was in elementary school. But and it's not always, but several times I've been in my underwear. And what's hilarious is nobody around me cares. And I don't seem to care. It's like, oh, I forgot my clothes. And nobody cared. It wasn't like I walked in class, they were, you know. But one of the times I was coming back from a trip somewhere and I showed up, I was coming back on a bus. I got out of the bus and got my suitcases and I was at a building. I said, where the heck am I? And I walk in the building and it's my old elementary school. I look around, I'd come in on a school bus. And I'm like, what the heck? Am I not an adult in this dream? Am I a kid? So that was weird.
yeah, some of those them high school dreams can be. I never. I don't know. I have a lot of the deja vu. Like I'll dream something a lot and it happens, and it's like the deja vu moment.
Yeah.
And I do dream about when people are getting ready to pass. They will come to me usually, and I call it helping them to cross over. I guess
Yeah.
kind of where I am, and or to give a message to someone else.
Yeah.
Um, that happens a lot to me. Um, and the closer I am at some point in time with someone, the more I feel like they come to me during the dreams. I dream a lot. This is another reoccurring nightmare that I have not thought about in a while because I haven't had it in a while. Watch me go home and have it tonight.
Eh,
My grandfather. I dream about my grandfather a lot in his funeral, and he's laying in his casket, and I walk up to it, and he's talking to me. He's in the casket, and he's talking to me.
that's bizarre.
But he's like he's decaying like a body would, and all that good stuff.
Did you see? I looked around. As I was looking, I saw a ball of light go by. Went that way. Went behind my chair. I don't know what it was. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice it. Mm-mm.
What to see? It's how far are we in the video? We're at 59, 1 hour mark now.
Running the 1 hour
Um,
mark. We'll look at
I
it.
have to go back and watch that later. That was bizarre. I saw it on the screen here. That's why I looked around while you were talking. I was like, "What is that? Maybe it's a little patty pie."
Could be. Could be.
All right. Let's see. What that was like? Oh yeah. Well, since we're at the top of the hour, I've not put up. Let me put up Kelsey's ticker here for the Wish Doctor
The Wish Doctor wishing machines now on
wishing machine.
sale. And you know he has a helmet out now too.
A helmet?
Yes.
I don't think I saw
It
that one yet.
it's in the car right now, but I'll I'll try to grab a couple pictures of it tomorrow and get them up on Abnormal Alabama.
Yeah.
They're very interesting.
What else? Oh yeah. Let me put his book up here, Dating the Dead and Spectrophilia. I see he's left the room, so just let him know I've advertised his book here.
I will. I think he needed to go take a rest for a minute.
Yeah. Dating the
Hello,
Dead,
Caitlin.
Spectrophilia is Dr. Kelsey's book about people who've dated and married even. Some of the strangest things you ever heard of. Bigfoot, a car. Um, somebody it's not, I guess it's in this book, but somebody recently married the color pink. I think we mentioned that a couple of weeks back.
Yep.
A lady married the color pink. I didn't know you could marry a color. So but you'll find, yeah.
I guess you can marry anything you want to.
Can I
You're,
can I marry chocolate then?
if you want to, let's do it. We'll do a whole wedding.
Because I love chocolate.
Let's do it this weekend so that
Okay.
I got flowers.
And there's one of his wishing machines there. And then you got my books over at myhauntedDolls.com there. You've got my books. I've got the books that are already out. I want to show the older books first. Here we go. Books like My Haunted Collection, The Dark Side, that tells about the items in my collection, the dolls and things that have darker stories, which mostly these ones are dolls. And then you got my supernatural novels. Oh, yeah, she's holding up my kids' book there, Make It Through the Night. I wrote a children's book there. My dad illustrated it. It's out there on the website.
It is, and it's a good little book.
And Crimson, the Blood Painting, the novel about an actual haunted painting that I have in my collection. And then my newest book just came out within the last month. Is a short story collection. It's a collection of original short stories that I wrote. One of them is pretty much a novella. It's called Dark Awakening and Other Tales for a Midnight Hour. Dark Awakening is the name of the novella at the beginning. Then there's other tales there. My dad read it already and he liked it.
I've got autographed copies.
Yeah, she got it signed by me and my dad there.
I did. That's what I wanted.
Children's book.
That is for my grandbabies if I ever have any.
But this book here is the first one I've had actually go to hardback. So it's hardback, paperback, and Kindle. And a couple of my books are on audio as well, audio book. And but at my website now, I've got, take that down so I can show out. I've got mugs. Look, myhauntedDolls.com mugs at my website on sale. I got cups. I've got bumper stickers like the one I threw up a second ago right there. And I've got car tags you can put on the front of your car. Or depending what state you're in, you can put on the back of your car. Some states have the front of the car, I think, license plate. And you can get caps, baseball caps with myhauntedDolls.com on it. So check that out. Who was that commented? That was, Caitlin. Okay. Good evening, she said. So now I guess we should get back to more nightmare stories.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Stories. Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street. That was one of my favorite. That first one was one of my favorites. I still like to watch it over and over sometimes. And the sequels just sort of went way out there, but the first one was the one where I first, and the only time I really thought Freddy was scary. He got kind of funny after a while. But Freddy Krueger, the famous nightmare boogeyman with his razor gloves and his fedora and his burnt face. So that's a good movie to check out if you haven't. And I'm one of the few that actually like the remake that came out 10 years ago. A lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was a neat take on it.
I did not see the remake. I have only seen the
Yeah.
original.
The remake is now on Netflix if you have that. Both of them, the remake and the original.
And it's been years since I've watched it. It was a good movie.
It is. That first one, I never forget. That was, Freddie burst on the scene. When I was a little kid, 85, 86 in elementary school, after that movie came out and finally went to VHS, all the kids were talking about Freddie this, Freddie that. He was just a phenomenon.
I like Rob Zombie's version of things. I wish that Rob Zombie would do something.
Yeah. Caitlin says, I'm a fan of the remake. Yeah, Rob Zombie remade Halloween, but
I liked his remake too.
but I think he kind of stuck with his own movies before and after that. And all right, so nightmare stories.
All right, I'm gonna let you do one, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Throw up a scary picture again. Ooh, see those red hands reaching out of the darkness back there? And that poor little girl is scared. All right, these are nightmare stories that have been shared online by real people. Here's one called The Constant Ticking Noise. When I was quite young, I had a very specific fever nightmare where I would be lying flat somewhere in the darkness. A clock was ticking, continually getting louder and louder until it became overwhelming. All of a sudden, it would stop, and there would be a very soft laughter next to my ear. I would wake up instantly and think it was fine until the ticking started again. All right. And now here's a story about two creepy dreams. When I was a kid, I had a recurring dream that we were on the Titanic. Myself, my mom, and her husband. I knew it was sinking, but they were like, we have to go down or go do grown up stuff right now. We'll get back to you later. Stay here. And then they locked me in my room and took off. It was a really clear statement about my emotions regarding my parents, obviously. In my adult life, the worst dream I ever had was that I was walking through the parking lot of Kmart to my car and a stranger grabbed my infant daughter and took off with her. It was so upsetting, I actually woke myself up shrieking and crying. I actually took the entire day off from class and did my best to go back to sleep and try to turn that dream around in my favor because I just could not cope with it, ending with her still being gone. Took me weeks to get over it. Now, here's a nightmare about the sky. I once had a nightmare where I was swimming with my family. I dunk my head underwater, and then when I lift my head up out of the water, my family is gone. The sky is black, and everything is silent. Then I look back up to the sky, and there is a giant eyeball. A huge hand then comes and grabs the pool and folds it into a clear box. I start to not be able to breathe, being trapped in a water filled box, and I wake up gasping for breath. Scariest dream I've had in a long while. All right, here's the next one. I often have dreams that involve going on crime sprees with different family members. One night, I dreamed I was out with my brother, robbing places and getting chased by the police. At one point, we were in a store, and a policeman stabbed my brother through the bottom of his mouth into his brain with a giant knife. It was so realistic, so detailed. My brother died in 2011, and this is the only dream since his death where I've seen his face. Now, that is sad. Now, I'll tell you this, a lot of times our dreams are affected by what we see on TV, and there's been a lot of stories out there of rogue cops, mean cops. And so I can see that kind of what we see on TV kind of crawling into our subconscious and causing, affecting our dreams. And that causes a lot of nightmares. So, and speaking of, to our viewers out there, if you've got any nightmares you want to share, put it in the comments and we can share those too. And now, let me share another one. Let's see here. I dreamt I was lying in bed. My feet start to itch. Suddenly they started bubbling and little spots started appearing. These spots grew into pus-filled boils. Then they grew into tentacles, 20 to 30 pus-filled, raw, painful tentacles, each about an inch in diameter on my soles, thrashing and waving around. Then they suddenly died and begun drying out into dead scab tentacles. They went the consistency of burnt wood and then remained on my feet. I woke up with a gasp. I could feel those tentacles on my feet for about 2 days. What the heck? And there's another thing. I've had nightmares about animal stuff. I didn't think about that till just now. There's been several times I've had nightmares about a giant shark. I guess you could blame my love for Jaws on that. A lot of people have had nightmares from Jaws, and a lot of people have stayed out of the water because of Jaws.
That is one of those when I was a kid. Yep.
Did you have shark nightmares too?
I did. I was scared. I was scared of the ocean for a long time.
Oh. So I've been in the ocean. Of course, we don't go a lot to the ocean.
Yeah, I'm not a big ocean fan.
I mean, I love it. I'm more of a fan of just sitting out there watching it. Or sitting on a balcony and watching it.
I like the smell of the ocean. I'm more of a mountain girl.
That and the sound of the ocean is nice, but I like the mountains too. I love lakes.
Yes, love the lakes.
And waterfalls. Just nice things.
Most definitely.
Did you have another nightmare story, or you want me to keep going?
No, keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
I'm kind of chilling. It's been a rough couple of days, and I'm just kind of sitting here chilling and doing my own thing and listening to
them. Well, I got plenty more here. Let me read some more of these nightmares people have shared here. Last week, I started dreaming that I was in an apartment. Everything seemed real, and there were a few cats moving about like cats do. Suddenly, though, one of my cats jumped off the balcony and made me start realizing that something was off. I walked to the kitchen of this apartment and sat down. Suddenly, a cat jumps onto the chair next to mine, and I turn away because looking at it felt like looking at the sun. However, it was not bright. Then this cat starts slowly morphing into a different creature with a messed up, disturbing face. I watch through the corner of my eye while another cat jumps onto the table. I hear a bang outside the window, so I look the other way, away from my cats. When I look back, the second cat has morphed into a sort of humanoid creature. I can't see its body, but its face is clear, squarish, pale, completely featureless except for two completely black eyes. Suddenly, it feels like the entire world is moving towards me, even though I am still awake even though I am still in my bed. I wake up in my room. This creature is still there, staring right into my eyes, and I can't move. It's getting closer. I decide to somehow push myself off of my bed, so that I can awaken from the nightmare. I slowly twitch my way to the edge of the bed while this thing is coming towards me at a steady pace. Then I fall off the edge and black out. I could not sleep well for days, scared that it would return. That makes me think of another thing. The environment or what's going on around us while we're sleeping, that can affect our dreams. And an example of that, this cat thing reminded me. In fact, I joked about this earlier today and just thought of it again here with the cat story. I have a cat, as many people on my channel know, because she likes to show up a lot in my videos that I do with the haunted dolls. And when I lived in my old house, I was sitting on the couch one night watching TV, and it was kind of early in the evening after I'd showered and settled down in my jammies. But I guess I'd had a hard day because I fell asleep on the couch watching TV. Well, as I'm sleeping in my dream, if I recall, I was in a jungle somewhere and I was afraid something was going to jump out. But my fur head cat decides at that moment she's going to climb up on me while I'm having this dream. In reality, she comes up on my couch, I guess, as I was laying there asleep, and she would sometimes climb up my arm when she was a little smaller. Well, in my dream, I see this creature come out, and I guess at the same time my cat crawled up my arm in the real world, this creature in my dream scurried up my arm. And I said, ah, and I flung my arm. And as I did, I woke up and I flung my arm really. And I flung that cat across the room before I knew
How
that
horrible! How
I see your
horrible!
face.
You,
And she
you cat
she went
abuser!
she went ski. She shrieked out as she flew over airborne and landed behind the side of, or the side of the sofa out of view. I heard her hit the floor, and it was 5 minutes before she finally came walking out from behind there and looking around. But I was cooing at her and apologizing to her. I mean, she picked that moment to climb up my arm as I'm having a dream about the jungle. So, what was I supposed to do? All right, back to our scary nightmare tales here. All right. Ooh, this one's called He Stabbed Her with a Kitchen Knife. Uh-oh, did somebody pop in? Do we have a visitor popping in?
I don't know. Something. What is
This
that?
is X.
I don't know
I
what that
don't know.
is.
Is that somebody? Should I bring them on? I'm a little scared.
I'm a little scared too. I can't tell who that is. Let me pull it up. I don't know who that is. I've never had that happen before.
No.
Hold on just
I've
a
seen
second.
this. I've seen this happen in a horror movie before.
Great. We're going to die. hold on. I'm going to find out what's going on. And you do what you're doing.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. So, a short dream, but scary nonetheless. I believe it was my birthday, and I had some sort of huge party organized outside in my garden. So I was running around the garden for some reason when I felt like grabbing some birthday cake. I ran into the kitchen, and my dad was eating my cake, so I asked him for some. But for some reason, my dad pushed me to the floor and told me all the cake was for him. My mom confronted my dad, but before she could really start shouting, he proceeded to grab a rather large kitchen knife and stab my mom right between the eyes, with the knife going all the way through her head. Even though it was a dream, I remember the blood splatter quite vividly. I then wake up in a cold sweat and was freaked out for weeks. All right, here's another one. The worst nightmare that I remember is when I was doped up on Dilaudid at Loma Linda, which is a hospital. I was in a glass box in the middle of a mall with rivets all over my skin and blood pouring out of them. The box was filling up, and I was going to drown in my own blood, and the only thing people did was stop, giggle, and wave and carry on. That's one thing I hate about nightmares is when they playful rain with her bulging eyes. Ah, I have had that happen in nightmares, and that really pisses me off when there's people there and they won't help you. Sons of bitches. That ticks me off when that happens in my nightmares. Okay, on to the next. This one's called There Was Something in the Garage. My family and I are having lunch in the kitchen. It's a pleasant day, and the room is well lit and cheery. I noticed a sudden noise in the garage. Everyone else seems oblivious, and when I try to bring it up, they all ignore me. My family continues eating while I keep my eyes on the door to the garage. Suddenly, the doorknob begins to slowly turn. At this point, I'm completely frozen to the chair that I'm sitting in and unable to stop watching. The doorknob turns slowly back and forth. Clearly, something is trying to get out. The dream ends there. I don't know if I'm relieved that the door does not open or horrified. If anything, the lack of resolution has always filled me with a deep sense of dread. Oh. I had a high fever and sleep paralysis one night during the summer. Oh, too bad Kelsey's not here. He asked me earlier if we were going to have a sleep paralysis story. So here's one. I had a high fever and sleep paralysis one night during the summer. I had a dream that everyone was crying over a little girl. When I got closer, the little girl was missing half her face. I said, "What a shame," when the room suddenly turned gray. I wake up, and the little girl was inches from my face saying, "You did this to me." She suddenly aged about 70 years to an elderly woman and jumped on my chest. I could not breathe and literally felt like I was burning. It was my first and last experience with sleep paralysis, but I pray every day it never happens again. So I want to take a moment since we've reached that part, in case anybody doesn't know sleep paralysis. What is sleep paralysis? It's not inherently life threatening, but it can be a frightening experience.
It's very frightening.
Parasomnias are sleeping disorders that occur during sleep and affect one's ability to achieve proper rest. Sleep paralysis is one of the more frightening parasomnias. Let me get this picture down as we talk. Parasomnias. Oh, these stinking ads. Oh, they tick me off. Here I am trying to explain. Oh, here we go. Sleep paralysis is one of the more frightening parasomnias because it renders the individual unable to move for short periods of time. Approximately 30% of people experience sleep paralysis at least once in their life. For some, however, it is a chronic condition that persists for years and can cause and is caused by various issues. One of the major causes of sleep paralysis is lack of sleep, which affects between 35 and 40% of adults. Changing work schedules, jet lag, and stress also contribute to sleep deprivation. Most people experience their first incident of sleep paralysis in adolescence, and they become more frequent in adulthood. Sleep deprivation fragments the rapid movement cycle when the body is naturally paralyzed during dream states. When the body is out of sync with the brain, the latter can achieve a level of consciousness while the body remains paralyzed. Luckily, I have not personally had uh, any what do they call it, dream paralysis or sleep paralysis issues. I've never had that happen. Although I wonder sometimes if it's almost happened because there's times when I've come awake, and for a split second I'm frozen, but then I'm able to move, a split second later. So I don't know if that counts as sleep paralysis, but nightmares can definitely cause that, especially if you have reoccurring, constant nightmares. Catherine Marie, didn't you say you've had some sleep paralysis issues before, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Hey,
I was going to ask you a question.
okay.
Have you ever had nightmares that of your teeth falling out?
That I have, and I've heard that just about everybody alive at least once has that dream. I've had that happen several times. I've been dreaming, and it's not even a nightmare, just a regular
Mhm.
dream, and my teeth suddenly fall out.
Yes. I think it's when we're not in control of our situation or our environment at that time, what's going on in our lives, and I think that's the
Yeah.
reason why we have that. But I was bad about having those, and because I was an anal kid that I brushed all the enamel off my teeth. I have no enamel left on my teeth because I brushed them too much. So I would have nightmares constantly about my teeth
Yeah.
falling out.
Yeah, it says here on Google, teeth falling out are associated with loss and important life changes. This dream could indicate that you're dealing with some kind of loss, like an abrupt end to a relationship or a job change. But when I've had those dreams, I don't remember anything. Maybe I was stressed about something. It didn't have to be a change. I guess I could have
It's
been work.
probably subconsciously there, and you didn't realize it.
Did you figure out? Our viewers can't see this, but did you figure out this mystery guest we've got showing up down here in the?
I did not.
It's
I did
somebody
not.
named someone named X sitting down here. It just popped up in our waiting area here, and we don't know who it is or what it is.
Who,
And I've
what, where it came from? Don't know.
I, I've seen a horror movie. I want to say Friend Request, where a mystery person shows up like that on a Zoom call and stays quiet, and they can't get rid of it. All of a sudden, they start dying.
Oh,
Uh,
great.
throughout.
Can
What's that? What's that?
can't I have I'm just gotten back into my groove. Let me live a little bit of my groove, and then maybe I'll be ready. But I'm
Now
not ready right now.
I have an option to kick from studio. Should I go ahead and do that?
Nah.
Leave them there? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm hoping they'll come on and say something.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can hear them because we don't have them muted.
Nope, don't
But
have them muted.
there's been no sound whatsoever. I guess they got themselves muted, whoever or whatever they are.
But it's
All
interesting,
right.
and
That is.
look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit stream real quick. And it
See
looks like
that?
they're holding a bat.
Yeah, girl holding. It looks like a young girl holding a bat.
Hello.
She's got shorty shorts on.
Okay, I'm gonna remove them because I'm kind of scared what they might do. Okay, so
Okay.
but I was just trying to see an up close as to who it
Yeah.
was.
So we've got our own very own strange abnormality here, right in the middle of abnormal Alabama.
Well, we are
Wow, right
abnormal.
here live. Yeah.
We are extremely abnormal.
Well, let's get some more.
I'm
this
eating.
this next oh good you're eating because this next story made me chuckle. It's called "They Carved Me Up Like a Turkey."
Right, I'm getting fat, and Kevin wants to carve me up like a turkey. Yeah, go. I gained 3 pounds, and Kevin wants to carve me.
I say I want to carve you. It's the name of this nightmare story that's up next. And it's a sleep paralysis one. It says, I had sleep paralysis about a month ago. I awoke from deep sleep early in the morning to an unfamiliar voice, deep and distorted. I heard more voices and tried to move but could not. I saw a bunch of men approaching me who had no faces but plenty of razor sharp teeth. They were grinding their teeth and whispering, food, 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 coming closer and closer. to the point where I could see what they were holding: knives and forks. They gathered around me and then climbed on top of me and slowly carved me up like a turkey. They ripped my arms and legs off and ate them. They went head first into the rest of my body and tore me apart like ravenous dogs. I then watched them use my finger bones as toothpicks. Finally, I broke free of the paralysis and went on to listen to Beethoven for 3 hours to get rid of the thought of being eaten alive. I think that person had an enormous amount of stress going on in their life at about the time. Oh, Phil Cowbreath comes on and says, boo. Well, boo back. All right. Let's throw up another creepy nightmare picture here. The school. This is one about school. I once dreamed of my school being bombed. I vividly remember the carnage and seeing my friends dead on the ground, but in typical dream fashion, I could not run to anyone to help them. I could just lay there, like my body was encased in concrete, as I watched my friends dying all around me. And here's one about the darkness. There is actually this monster that used to appear constantly in my dreams. I call it the darkness. I've never seen the monster's main form, but it can appear any way it wants to. Usually, there are two ways this monster will appear. The monster will at first appear like a normal person in a crowded place like a mall. I will at first not even realize that it is the darkness, but then things in my dream will change. It will continue to appear more and more in its human form. Then is usually when I feel something is not right. Then everyone else, except for the darkness, still in its human form, will disappear. Then, keeping in its human form, it will run towards me at extremely fast speeds, and once it reaches me, it will grab me. After that, the dream will end. This way is more rare, but it is where this monster got its name. I will usually be in some room in my house, and for whatever reason, I will go to another room. The room I enter will be dark, and as soon as I enter, I know what is going to happen. If I try to escape this room, I will just be pulled right back. Things get suspenseful. Then I just close my eyes. It is habit for me to do this because I can escape my dreams this way. Then it grabs me and the dream ends. The only detail I have gotten from when it has grabbed me in my true form is that it has extremely long fingers. I don't know what it looks like because, like I said, I always close my eyes when it appears. As I've gotten older, the darkness has been appearing less and less, so I can't really describe some details because it has been a long time since it has last appeared. I want to mention that's something else that I've had in my dreams before, and you've probably had it too, Catherine, is when you're trying to get away from something and you can barely move, like slow motion, and
Yes.
whatever's chasing you, it's got speed, son of a bitch, and you're trying to. And I'm just like, well, sometimes I'll suddenly float off the ground and just be all floating slowly everywhere, like out of control. And I'm like, what the heck? And it's just like, why? Why? You know?
So you dream of flying?
Huh?
You dream of flying?
I dream of trying to get away or get somewhere fast. All of a sudden, I'm slow mo and I lift off the ground, like whatever it was doesn't want me to gain ground,
Mhm.
and not really flying, just kind of floating above the ground, out of control. And I'm having to swim through the air, and it's thick and it's just bizarre. I hate that.
Have you ever been able to control your dreams?
Phil says, thank you. I said hello to him earlier. You're welcome. Have I been able to control? I have.
I control my
I
dreams a
a
lot.
few, a handful of times I have taken control. One time where I was getting attacked or something. I just screamed. I stopped screaming. I said, "This is my damn dream, and I'll have it the way I want to." And suddenly I get control. And I've even made myself wake up before.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
forced myself awake.
But the worst dream you can have, this is the worst dream to me I could ever have, okay?
Oh, what's
Is,
that?
and I can't stand these dreams, is when I am asleep and I dreaming that I need to go to the bathroom and I can't find the bathroom. That makes me angry.
See, and my dad has that dream. Here's what I see. Mine likes to fool with me. My dream. Here's my prankster dream. Mind here. See, I'm always finding the bathroom. I'll be in a park and see that outdoor building where you can go, or I'll be in a mall like you're talking about, and I find it. I go in and I feel like I'm really there and I'm about to use the bathroom. I've just got relief. And all of a sudden, right as I'm about to do it, I wake up and realize I'm really having to go to the bathroom, and I'm in the middle of my bed, and
Bingo.
I start scrambling,
You
and I
start
get so mad at my subconscious. I'd rather not find the bathroom and wake up and scramble than
bingo.
almost actually wet my drawers.
I can't find the bathroom. And when I do, 90% of the time I can't find it. And then when I do find it, I'm about to pee on myself. So you got to get up and you got to
Ah.
go.
I guess that is in a way a nightmare right there.
Yeah, and it ticks me off
It's
because
a
it wakes
it's a
me up.
it's a it's a wet nightmare instead of a wet dream.
One of the worst. Oh, I forgot about this dream. I got to tell you about it, Kevin. Um,
Okay.
this is like last year. Um, I dreamt that I was in my home and my daughter was in her bedroom and a tiger appeared.
A tiger appeared.
A tiger appeared. And the tiger, I was trying to get the tiger out of my house. And I was protecting my daughter. And I wound up, it kept chasing me and kept chasing me and kept chasing me. And finally, I opened the back door of the house and it went out. And I shot it.
Ah.
So it was like a really weird dream. I don't know why a tiger would be chasing me in my own house.
I don't know either.
A dog, a cat, or a possum, maybe. But yeah, we did release our baby possum back out into the wild once she grew up.
Ah,
Yes,
well,
we
that's
did that.
good.
We did that last weekend, I think it was, and she still comes around. We feed her, and she's outside, and she still comes around.
Oh.
Our little rescue is off and living on her own.
Oh.
But, yeah, a possum. I mean a tiger in my house. I don't know. Um, somebody said it was that something bad was going to happen, and right after that, something did, like a family, drama emergency, did happen right after that. So I figured that it was probably just this is going to happen dream. Something bad was going to happen dream. But do you dream that things are happening and it happened to you later in life?
Yeah, well, I've dreamed about being at both my parents' funeral, but it was mostly my mom's until she actually did die. I kept dreaming about her funeral. And now I have dreamed about my dad's, but I don't think that's coming. I hope that's not coming anytime
I hope
soon.
not.
But I mean, it wasn't like hers came immediately after I dreamed it. I think it was just me knowing, hey, they're getting on in their years, and she was already sick. She was very sick, so we knew at any time she would suddenly, just you know, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say drop, but she just would suddenly, shut down, and because she had fibromyalgia, and she had just about most of her adult life she dealt with this gallbladder disease she had. It was like a continuous infection all the time. It was. Can you imagine that? I mean, ugh.
I'm living it.
And oh Lord, but she had stuff all her life. She would have her mangioma on the back of her neck, these purple spots, and
Talking about.
And I remember hearing all my life, if she ever got hit in the right there, that would automatically kill her and stuff like that, or she'd bleed out or something. So that always freaked me out.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to
Um,
look that up to see. I can't say for definite. I'd have to look that up because I'm not very. I mean, I know what a hemangioma is, but I don't.
yeah,
I don't know that you can bleed to death from it. Um,
yeah. But she always had. I remember her talking about having nightmares a lot. Yeah, physical ailments can cause that big time. So, oh, I got this next story here. It's a strange one. It's called I was an FBI agent who got shot. Ooh. I have had a lot of dreams where I get shot. The worst I had was the most realistic of the bunch. In the dream, I was an FBI agent who was taking a prisoner to show us where he hid the bodies. Ooh. It was just him, my partner, and me in a dark red Lincoln Town car. We're driving down this old dirt road, and the prisoner is in the back talking a lot of nonsense. He is obviously not sane at all, but he has his moments of clarity where he will turn from crazy to sounding like he could teach a college level class. We get to a covered bridge over a small creek, and the prisoner goes silent. I stop the car and look into the rear view and see him sitting back there with the scariest looking smile on his face. While looking back, I don't realize that someone has stepped out from behind the wall of the covered bridge, holding a very large rifle similar to an AR 15. He begins shooting, and the first bullet goes straight through the skull of the prisoner. I quickly throw open the door and look over to my partner, who, while reaching for her gun, has been shot multiple times. I pull out my gun and take a few shots at the gunman, and he ducks back behind the wall to reload. As he is doing that, I jump into the ditch on the side of the road and prepare to shoot at him. Quickly, I turn and begin to look over the side when all I see is the barrel of the rifle in my face. At this point in the dream, I hear a bang and wake up with an extreme headache that lasts a while. Now, that is interesting. That reminds me of I've talked about a few times on here before the dream I had where I'm driving in a truck and passed by a stranger in a coat and a hat. And I'm not me, I'm some old guy when I looked in the mirror. But it's like wee hours of the morning. It's not daylight yet. And I'm driving down this old street in this old town like it's in the 40s, old truck. And I pass this stranger and something tells me I need to speed up and get out of here. And I speed up, but he pulls a gun out and fires through the back window. And I hear the glass, I feel the hit. And I think to myself, so this is what it's like. And then I wake up. That was a strange thought to have. But I didn't wake up with a headache. I just woke up kind of rattled and wondered what the hell I dreamed.
I was trying to quit smoking one time, and they put me on this drug called Chantix. And let me tell you about the dreams on that medicine.
Okay.
Whew. I dreamed. I mean, they were so realistic that I thought I was like, I mean, HD quality, and it was amazing. It was an 18-wheeler, and it was going around a curve, and it flipped, and it just burst into flames. I mean, it was just. I mean, it was so realistic. I was like, man, I need some more of that stuff. Maybe I need to call the doctor and say I need to quit smoking again. I don't smoke anymore. I just vape. But they were very, very, very good dreams on that stuff.
I wonder if my brother ever had nightmares when he tried to quit one time with a nicotine patch and it didn't last long, maybe a week or so, and he went right back to smoking.
Uh, I'm
And
I can put it down now and never think about it again. But but I do not want to. If I want to, I will. If I don't want to, I mean, I went years without smoking. I'm talking about years and years and years and years, and I just like the fixation of it,
The fixation.
the oral fix. It's an oral thing. You know, I probably wasn't breastfed a lot enough when I was a kid or something. I don't know. That's what they say it's from.
Now, here's one I've heard a lot of people talk about having an end of the world nightmare. I've not had that yet. Of
Yep, had that one.
course, now that I say it, it probably will. Although I've had dreams about bad storms, I've never dreamed about really end of the world.
I dreamt that it was the end of the world and there was rivers of fire, and they were like the rivers would pop up. You know how like the fires going down the river, and it would
Uh
just
huh.
pop up and spread here and there and little big spots. I guess as the waves would go around. That was kind of
Yeah.
that was kind of a scary dream.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
And
Let's
I
hear what
remember
this.
my
Huh?
uncle was in that dream. But go ahead.
Oh. Okay, the worst night. This redditor says the worst nightmare for me would have to be the end of the world nightmare, of which I have had two iterations. In the first, I walked out of my house across the street to visit my grandparents. I looked up at the sky and saw streaks of meteors. I turned back to see my house explode as meteors hit it. The second dream was of my family and me sitting in an empty field, basically a large dirt lot. I turned and looked at a mountain in the distance, and it basically evaporated in a wall of fire. All my family members hugged, and I distinctly remember the burning I felt on my back as I woke up. The end of the world nightmares scare me the most since my family has a history of prophetic dreams, where many family members, me included, have had dreams of things sometimes years before they happen. Well, thank God I've not had those dreams before. I've dreamed little small instances like scenarios where I'm somewhere and then a couple of years go by and it really happens. And I remember back, hey, I dreamed this. So I've had that happen, but those were pleasant things. All right, here's another one. He tortured me for information. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. The worst nightmare I've ever had was reoccurring and absolutely horrifying. Even after a year and a half, I cannot for the life of me forget the details. I came to and noticed I'm strapped down. My head is pounding. I can feel the blood rush with every heartbeat. A man with a face shrouded in shadow and an attire almost as insidious regards me as I attempt to gain control of my consciousness. Who are you? I managed to sputter out, the words stammering over my limp jaw. The man laughs and walks forward into the light. I see he's wearing a mask, which is why his face appeared blank in the shadows. His voice, full of poison, says to me, who I am does not matter. It is you that matters. And when I'm done, you're going to wish that you had never known the things you do. My head is reeling and I can hardly form a coherent thought, let alone a proper response. I attempt to ask another question, but all that I utter is total nonsense. The man leaves the room. I lay there, strapped to the table, for an ungodly, insurmountable period of time. As my head clears, I try to keep track of the passing seconds, minutes, hours, but to no avail. Finally, the door creaks open. The man is back, but he's brought with him company. A woman, gagged and tied, is pushed roughly into the room and falls noisily onto the cold floor. I recognize the face in an instant. She's a friend of mine, albeit not a very close one. The man sets about tying her into a chair, and puts her at gunpoint before turning to me. If you want your friend to live, I have a deal for you. Tell me where it is hidden, and you, your friends, and your family, excuse my coughing, your family will be released. His cold voice and emphasis on whatever item it is leads to a very sinister chill up my back. Let her go, I shout, panicking. I have no idea what you're looking for. The man shakes his head and out comes a small tisk tisk noise. That's a right shame. I was hoping we could do this the easy way. Before I can say another word, he pulls the trigger, excuse me, and my friend goes limp. I scream out in fear and anger as the man leaves the room again. Time and time again, he comes and goes, his torture methods quite ingenious. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. I watch friends and family alike fall to his cruel punishment, be it by gun or electricity, bleeding out or poison. And all the while, I am forced to sit there watching. Closing my eyes didn't block out the sound of my sister screaming, the iron scent of blood in the air. There's nothing I can do to help them. I have not a clue what he wants from me. One day, the man has a different air about him. By this point, weeks have passed, and I've almost lost everyone I care about. On the brink of insanity, and beyond the point of words and coherent emotion, excuse me, I've become all but unresponsive to his methods, preferring to suffer in silence, but this time he's got something else planned. He binds me in a position with my arm outstretched, only fingers able to move, and puts a gun in my hand. In front of me, with the barrel of a gun pressed to her forehead, is my darling mother, tears glistening on her cheeks. I let out a small whimper of pain, and the man laughs his cold, hard laugh. This is your last chance. If you do not tell me where it is, your friends and family will all be dead, and you will be returned to the outside world with the knowledge that it is you that caused their suffering. I don't know anything. I've told you, I plead desperately. The man turns toward me for the last time. I've had enough of this. You will not tell me, and so you will be the one to end her life. A jolt of electricity shoots through my arm, and my finger pulls the trigger before waking up. That's a hell of a nightmare. And as I'm trying to tell it, I felt like I inhaled dust. I started coughing.
Uh, I've had this nervous cough for about 3 weeks now. I'm not sick.
Well, this was like, I mean, I've been fine. All of a sudden, it felt like dust went down my throat. It's just tickling.
Yep.
It's irritating. I don't know who the ghost duster is, but I'm gonna kick their little translucent butt. Not you, Patty doll.
it was an evil ghost that tried to make you
Uh-huh.
cough. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got a hiccup there. Sounds.
I did. I get every time if I eat, I get the hiccups. Same thing as your mom. You know
Yeah.
all that good stuff, the gallbladder stuff.
Yeah.
That's no longer there. But what is the first dream you ever remember?
First dream I remember is the one I told earlier. That nightmare, that reoccurring nightmare I had as a kid of that scary old lady in my closet.
Mine was the one of the trailer moving back and forth.
Yeah. I've had some weird dreams, and every once in a while I have a dream with even my little doll babies in there. Actually, I see them in their real form, not the dolls.
Oh,
There's
cool.
little Patty Pie.
She's so cute.
Yeah, I know. I've
Cute
even
baby.
I even put one of the dolls on the bed with me one night and went to sleep because I kept hearing people tell me, "Hey, they'll come in your dreams." And I dreamed most of this dream. It was pleasant. It was like being out in a park around people. Some of them were my family, and some people I didn't know. But the whole time I kept carrying this little girl who was just so happy, like a little toddler. And when I woke up, I'm holding that doll in my arms.
Oh, man.
That was cute.
I bet that was cute.
So I've had them come in real form, come in my dreams. I haven't dreamed about the dolls themselves being there, but I've had the little, especially the little kid spirits pop up. But I think we got, let's see, we got 8 minutes left. We got time for another one
Wow.
here. I think one time I've dreamed about a zombie, but not very often. But this is a zombie nightmare. In this dream, I was married, but I was the husband. I'm actually female, and my wife was dying. I don't know why or how, but she was in my car, parked in the street, somewhere in the next neighborhood, and was dead or dying. I didn't do it. I didn't kill her, but people were going to think it was my fault because she was in my car. So I left there in the car after I found her there because she was starting to decompose, but also somehow was still barely alive. When she looked at me, it was almost zombie like, and everything was dark. Even my headlights of a different car were too dull to see well, and the rot from her decaying body was following me around, slowly creeping onto everything I saw. I started bleeding out of my nose and I ran home. Most of the house was dark and the rot was there. Black gunk and maggots and decay. I had just a small bag, a pillow, and a dull flashlight running out of batteries. I wanted to sleep so I could ignore all of this crazy, scary stuff and forget about the rot until the sun came up and gave me the safety of the daylight. I went to the couch in a clean room to try to sleep, but I had a feeling the rot would find me there anyway and creep in. I turned off the dying flashlight and closed my eyes, and then I woke up. All right, here's one about a couple of them about animal creatures here. Some friends and I were caving and swimming in a cave pool when I heard this blood curdling scream and a "help me" from somewhere across the cave. I walked toward the noise and found a goat with a demented human face, and it just kept screaming, "Help me!" in this pain stricken voice I can't even begin to describe. Then I woke up. Then the next person says, in an instance of sleep paralysis, I woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and looked up to see a gargoyle like demon hanging from my fan. It had blood red eyes, and I could see its fleshy wings. It just hung there staring at me, and I was panicking, unable to move. Then it disappeared once the paralysis ended. Yeah, that's freaky right there. I've had a couple of animal bad dreams too. I hate spiders. Well, I say I hate them. I mean, if they're out somewhere, I see them on TV or I watch a movie, it doesn't freak me out. But if there's one right here next to me, a big hairy one crawling around, I'm going to get away because I don't want to get bitten. Yeah, I think it's just that natural instinct of wanting to get away. But I don't like spiders or snakes, and I've had nightmares about both. I've had nightmares about big spiders running around the house. I'm always jumping on a chair trying to get away, and I've had that dream about snakes. I hate snakes. And we came home and saw a chicken snake stretched out one day coming back from lunch. He was stretched out on the roof up there, and we pulled up and he slid off down the drain spout and I guess disappeared.
I'm not
Have you
scared of
had?
snakes.
You are or you're not?
I'm not.
You're not? I don't
No.
like people handle them. People wear those boas. Oh,
I mean, I don't go that.
no.
I mean, I'm not gonna go out of my way to love on a snake, but I'm not gonna hurt
No.
one. They're more scared of me. I will actually go out of my way to save them because they take care of rodents,
Ah.
and I don't like rodents. So
Yeah, that I'm like that with lizards. They eat the spiders, so I don't mind if a lizard gets loose. But have you ever
Yep.
had a have
Have
you
I
ever
ever
had
had
a
one?
have you ever had a nightmare about animals attacking you or anything like that?
I can't bring one to memory right this moment.
Ah.
Um, Dreamt about car wrecks.
Oh, yeah, I've had one or two of those before, where something's flying at you when you're in the car.
Yeah. I used to work on the ambulance long time ago. Been retired for quite a while since Elizabeth's been born, um, and I would have a lot of nightmares from the calls that we would run,
Yeah,
and the people dying and all that good stuff.
yep. Well, yeah, I can imagine working in that kind of job's gonna give you nightmares.
Uh, PTSD still at this age. I still
God.
I still have moments of like riding in a car. I still have moments of anxiety. Well, you know that.
Yeah, yeah, I have witnessed that.
You
I've
have
seen
witnessed
you
that.
cowering the back seat of my car when driving back in the dark, rainy night of Georgia.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you're back there with your face covered up.
Pretty much. hmm I do not like I do not like driving or riding in the rain. It absolutely just it terrifies me. I can do it, but I have to be the one driving.
Yeah, I don't like driving in the night of rain, in the rain either.
Well, I can't see. I'm getting older. I can't see as good as I used to could.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it starts really pouring and you can barely see through the sheets of rain and you're scared of hydroplane, the person in front of you keeps hitting their brakes and you're trying to keep back away from them. It's just, oh.
Well, I got an idea for next week's show.
Oh, what's that?
Have we done anything on phobias?
We have not. That's a good idea. Phobias. Oh,
Uh
oh,
huh.
oh.
I think we should maybe do something on phobias next week.
Yeah, that would be good.
I have a. I'm
Phobias.
terrified of heights.
Yeah, uh-huh. I didn't used to be, and I love riding in a plane, but I can't stand on the edge of a tall building looking down, unless I've got a guardrail, I've got something protecting me. I get a
No,
little dizzy.
no. I see. I can fly all day long, but if
Yeah,
I'm still, like if I'm, you know, even just walking, but like going very slow, I cannot be up high. Like I can ride a roller coaster, I can fly, I can do anything that's moving fast like that, but I cannot stand, like you said, and look over a building. It's just not
yeah.
going to happen.
Another time I I didn't really panic, but it kind of scared me a little was what do they call those? I guess we were at Six Flags. I don't know if they still have it there, but those box things that you ride that goes across a cable in the air
The
and it goes,
skybox,
yeah,
sky something.
yeah, and it goes so damn slow, and you're like 100, 200 feet
hmm
off the ground,
Not happening.
and because it's not, I mean, that thing kind of sways, and it's kind of open around the sides there. That's just not too safe to me, and that's a nay nay ride.
Or cable cars. That may be what it's
Cable
called
car,
too.
that's what it is.
And I don't ride Ferris wheels either. Ferris wheel goes too
Mm,
slow. And there's a
yeah.
possibility of it stopping with me on the top.
Oh,
Not happening.
come to a stop, and then your seat's
Uh-uh.
kind of rocking up there,
No.
and you're cussing at that little dude at the remote down there.
And I'm puking on him too, usually.
Yeah, you son of a bit. But phobias, that's good. Yeah, we've got spider phobias in my family. My sister has arachnophobia. My mother had it, and I'm partially. I see a little tiny spider doesn't bother me. I don't like the big hairy ones. That's
I used to have one. They don't bother me.
oh,
I didn't see it. Omar said hello.
oh, hello, Omar. He came on at the last minute.
Last minute, Omar.
Yeah,
It's good
we're
seeing you
about
though
to.
this week. Everybody that joined us
Yeah,
this week. I'm so excited that y'all are here.
we had a lot of viewers tonight. Thank you.
And
And little Patty Pie says thank you. I'll put her up here one more time and say thank you. Thank you. She's tired of me doing that.
but next week I will probably be on camera with you guys again.
Oh boy, no up close picture.
No up close photo. Y'all get the real thing. I can't pick my nose though on the when I'm live though. You know, any of that stuff.
At least didn't start coughing on floating dust like I did in the middle of a story. Now my nose is running a little bit. Allergies, that's what it is.
That's what it is. It's allergies. That's my problem too. The weather's fixing to change, and it's about hopefully going to get pretty and warm. Not hot. I don't want it to be hot. I just want it to be warm.
Yeah.
And like we had snow like Saturday.
Yeah.
I know some of our people are not from Alabama, so they don't know that we had snow flurries.
We had a little bit of snow. Just a dusting.
A dusting. It didn't last long, unfortunately. I don't mind the snow as long as it doesn't turn the electricity off and ice. And
yep.
I like to play in the snow.
Yeah.
I broke my tailbone in the snow. I told work. I had to call in because I told work I fell down the stairs. I was sledding.
You were sledding.
I was sledding down this huge hill and I hit a culvert, like in a drain. And when I did, it broke my tailbone. Oh, I bounced so high. It hurt. Yeah. It still hurts to this day some days when it's cold. But guys, it's 9:03.
Yeah,
we had a great night.
So we're going to have to say goodnight and peace. And we will see you next week on Abnormal Alabama.
Look forward to it.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And I am ending the broadcast.